What is going down, everyone? It's time for Mojobreak.com, The Hype, episode 261. We got a jam-packed episode. DJ Skee is in the building. He's going to be on the podcast today, guys, opening some cards, celebrating the Loupe 2-year anniversary, guys. Go ahead and download the Loupe app. Download the Loupe app. Don't down the Loupe app because that wouldn't be good. But download the Loupe app now. We're having a lot of fun ripping stuff on the Loupe app with Ty, Cody over there. Tell us how much you love the Loupe app and the community there.
I've been having a great time over there. Ty's just joined in, and I feel like has brought in this like bolt of energy. And it's been a lot of fun. Like, we've been doing great giveaways, awesome stuff. We've got more incredible stuff planned. We're actually, this Friday, we're going to have a huge baseball mixer to celebrate Game 1 of the World Series. So make sure to download the app. We got a QR code. If you go to our schedule on Mojobreak.com, you can just scan that and download it. So come on, join us for it. There's going to be new features coming soon. So we're having a really good time on there. We love it. So join Loupe, follow Mojobreak Sports Cards. Been a lot of fun.
Dan, how's it going? Are you excited for the Rams game this weekend?
I'm just channeling my inner Ty with the finger push-ups.
Oh,
yeah.
He does that.
You know?
He does that. He gets it ready.
Rocket
gets
ship.
Fire
ready.
fingers.
Gets it ready.
Speaking of fire fingers, who's running the ball for the Rams this weekend?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
I hope it's
not Christian McCaffrey.
Be honest with you, it truly doesn't matter because your defense just really isn't that good. Overrated.
Look, I hope
Darrell
it's
Henderson going to be running the rock.
I hope it is because he's starting for my
Is
fantasy
that your
team.
fantasy guy?
Yeah,
What's
he
more
is.
important,
Fantasy
fantasy
guy.
or reality?
Right
I mean,
now,
reality.
since you're below 500, I would say fantasy.
I am 4-3. Thank you very much.
No, not.
Oh,
not
okay. I was like,
you.
hey.
Again,
The Niners are below 5.
the Niners are below 500. Your other team,
Yeah.
your
My
fantasy team, and
correct.
your other team, the Chargers.
That's true. My
so-
Bolts are
Other?
Hey, I've got the same record as my Bolts, so we're doing fine. It'll be all right.
Go Bolts. What's up? How does that make you feel, Doug? Is like Cody being a Niner fan, he's just like, I'm also a Charger fan.
There's no competition there, and it's the real team in L.A. It's
Okay, well, that's not
They
true.
built SoFi Stadium for the Chargers.
Well, that is definitely not true.
We all know what's up.
They're
It's
the
for
roommates.
Herbert. It's for Herbert and his hair, and
No,
C-Rad's
it's-
not even here to defend the Chargers.
The Chargers, like, Kroenke's like, here's a futon. You could sleep on our couch. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I liked it when they had their own stadium. They shared it with the LA Galaxy and had like 17 people show up. You know, that was more intimate.
Oh,
You mean in Carson? I thought you meant
Yeah.
I thought you meant Qualcomm.
Sure. No, well, Qualcomm, boy, you want to talk about a dump. Qualcomm at the end there was
okay.
rough.
Okay,
Qualcomm.
Matt.
At the end there, at the end.
Qualcomm or Oakland Coliseum? Which one?
Qualcomm, easily.
You have to think about that?
Man, no, because at the end it was so bad. Like decaying as bad as the Coliseum, if not worse. Location pretty
San Diego.
Yeah, but the location itself, it's so far away from everything.
So is the Coliseum.
I guess I'll go Coliseum is worse just because it's still up and they're still trying to use it. Whereas at least at a certain point they realize we got to get out of here with Qualcomm.
What's
What's
Qualcomm being used for?
It's an empty lot.
It's
gone.
No, they're gone.
Yeah,
like
it's
it went the way of Candlestick. It is
Apparently, if you were underneath the stadium, there were pieces of concrete that were actually falling off of it the last season. And they went, yeah, we got to get out of here.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was bad. It was in bad shape.
And we're talking about the Los Angeles / San Diego Chargers. I want to take some stock in terms of cards right now because we have some kind of stuff up in the air about quarterbacks. We have, Mac Jones' situation, which is not great for collectors that invested heavily. I mean, his prices were insane in the offseason. You've got Justin Herbert, maybe a question mark now. You obviously have Trey Lance that went down. So, what are some of your guys' bets for, picking up some quarterbacks and maybe potentially seeing their values rise? Are we Zach Wilson? Is it time to pick him up? Is it Justin Fields? Where do we navigate, in your guys' opinion, for collectors? And it's a good question for you guys. Comment on the video below here. Is, a lot of stuff is shaking out now that we're getting close to the midpoint of the season. We're starting to hit buys and stuff. Who are some of the guys that you would like, if you had to put your money on today, who would you put your money on?
Who would I put my money on right now?
If you wanted, a safer investment out of the last 2 to 3 years of rookies. Could it be like a Malik Willis, the unknown? Could it be Kenny Pickett? We've seen a little bit of Kenny Pickett.
I think the safe bet right now is Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is the. I mean,
But he wasn't the safe bet like 3 weeks ago.
He was the safe pick. We know that Joe Burrow is going to put it together. I mean, look what he's doing with a bad offensive line. I would not be blown away if the Bengals make it to the Super Bowl again.
He's got that winning culture. I mean, what about like a Jalen Hurts? Is that a flash in the pan? Is that a guy that you want to sell now? Or you guys think that he's shown you guys enough? I mean, he hasn't lost a game.
I think I would personally sell Jalen Hurts, but I won't disagree if you want to hold him. The Eagles right now are clearly the class of the conference right now in an NFL landscape where there's a lot of mediocrity. The Eagles are the only one that have really separated themselves, and I know they had kind of a weird ending of that game against the Cowboys, but I still will put my money on him still being, at least this season, being the real deal. And I will say with some of the 2020 guys, I just want to point out, if the season ended today, Bengals would not be in the playoffs, but the Chargers would. Just want to point
that kind of hurts my Super Bowl prediction, doesn't it?
Well, where do you rank the...
Hard to get to the Super Bowl if you don't make the playoffs.
Now, they're like, it's, again, because the
almost
league...
impossible.
Yeah, it's a little... I don't think it's ever happened, in fact.
It's never happened. They could be the first team now.
Where do you guys rank the 2020? Is it still Burrow and Herbert 1 and 2, or can you move Tua and Hurts past either of those guys?
No, I'm going Burrow, Herbert. Tua's team is good. I mean, he's good when he's in there, but I don't think he is on the caliber of Herbert or Burrow. I mean, honestly, like if you had a quarterback to basically be the guy on your team, would you consider picking Tua over Burrow or Herbert?
I wouldn't even pick him over Hurts at this point. Although I will say, I know
Doug really, really wants Tua just to like. It's that lefty
Fellow
thing.
lefty.
He's just like, I really want him to be the greatest, the second best quarterback in the league, right behind Trey Lance.
He did, as you can see on my Instagram, I am clearly a lefty on our Instagram on the shot, and that is a select spot for shot. If you make a ball in a hoop, record it, say Mojobreak, get a free spot and select. Check out the video on Instagram. Anyway, plug. I found out today, or actually yesterday, that Tua is not a true lefty. He's only a lefty when it comes to quarterback.
What?
So it's kind of changed my thing.
Fraud.
A little bit. I heard he writes right-handed. He does everything else right-handed.
He's ambidextrous.
But he's not a true lefty. I'm a true lefty. I do everything left-handed.
Do you feel?
I wonder if
been duped.
I wonder if he was to taking a bat and swing. Does he hit lefty or righty?
I think he would hit righty. I hear he
because
just
that was
throws it
remember
lefty.
Tim Lincecum.
He batted lefty. Yeah,
but he batted lefty.
Yeah.
That's right.
That is bizarre.
It is.
But there's been a handful of baseball players who've done that.
Yes.
Who've yeah.
You think they're lefty and then they throw righty or vice versa. But, yeah, I mean, I guess we could say in terms of quarterbacks, I mean, we were all hyped for 2021, but it's clearly the 2020 class. I mean, leaps and bounds, right?
Rank your top 3 2021 quarterbacks at the moment.
It's hard to say Trevor, but I think it's got to be Trevor number one.
He's got to be number one, right?
Yeah,
I think he's still number one.
I think you got to say Fields
over Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
After
Monday night, I think it was.
Look,
he looked really good against Belichick is not a schlub coach.
Over Davis Mills.
Over Davis Mills.
What's Davis Mills doing?
He's out. He's playing.
He's out there throwing the ball.
He's out there.
He's out there. One thing about
can we all agree that Trevor Lawrence is number one?
One thing about Davis Mills, though, week in and week out, he is consistently out there.
Yeah.
He shows up.
That's
That's half the battle.
He shows up every week.
Has Justin Fields passed up Mac Jones? Cody.
Oh man.
Not yet?
I know that's the easy knee-jerk reaction to say, and look, I have been full on. I think Zappe over his Mac. I don't know if that holds as much water after.
Would you say
Monday
happy
night.
for Zappe?
I think you just like saying his name.
I love saying Zappe. It makes me happy. Let's be honest.
I mean, yeah.
But I'm not ready to go there yet. I'm not ready to go there. Belichick also is just very weird with players, especially quarterbacks, or when he knows, unless it's Tom Brady. He's kind of in uncharted waters right now, Bill Belichick. Like he has not had, like he has been able to just forget about that position his entire career. Yeah. And for the first time in his career, he's kind of treating that position like he treats every other position, that there's no hierarchy. It's just, you give me the best person at that very moment. And it kind of came back to haunt him on Monday night. I know it worked for those first 2 drives. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not ready to go full on. That
was a wild choice. At first we were thinking it was maybe an injury that he didn't recover from, but I think it was clearly just a knee-jerk reaction on Belichick, which you don't see a lot of coaches make.
Yeah,
I mean, you can kill your quarterback's confidence.
If you listen, and you kind of expect this with Belichick's post-game conference, like, he literally said nothing. Like, it was just like
chess games.
He didn't say it was injury, and he didn't say it was performance-based. He just went up there and said words that meant nothing,
as he always does.
And I've seen some, Facebook groups fire sales on Mac Jones, like literally after the game or during the game.
Look what he
does. Can you? If you get a good enough price, are you guys buying Mac Jones?
I think we don't know if Mac Jones is 100% healthy. We also don't know what Belichick is thinking. Look how he handles his running backs. No rhyme or reason. He may actually be looking at the quarterback position like, I think Zappe is a better option for this game. In a week, he may be like, I think Mac Jones is a better option for this game. It may be truly a quarterback by committee on a game-to-game basis.
Which I think for Belichick, again, I think he has done this for a lot of other positions throughout that career and why the Patriots have been successful, but I think quarterback is such a different monster. You're shaking the confidence. It's not just like you're doing this for, to Brian Hoyer or something. These are 2 young quarterbacks who you do that, and I feel like you're shaking their confidence, and they're not getting the reps they need. I don't know. If I was Belichick, I kind of accept that this is not the team this year. I think there's at least there's 3 teams in the division right now that are better than the New England Patriots, and they need to just develop a quarterback.
If you're an opponent of the Patriots, you go all week and you're trying to figure out what the game plan is and what quarterback it's going to be. That will 100% mess with the game plan.
I do like your point too, because look at over the years, like the Matt Flynn's of the league that got playing time and did well, and then they were able to be moved or traded for big pieces of the puzzle. I know it sounds crazy. You don't want to do it this early, but now if Zappe does well, he could maybe go into the offseason and get some picks or get somebody. I don't know if that's happening. I want to make a really, really crazy, bold statement that I'm going to get blasted for. I think the 2022 rookie class could be better than the 2021 rookie class.
Ooh.
I mean, you got Kenny Pickett, you got Bailey Zappe, Malik Willis. We don't know what we have in him.
Just picking names out of a hat here.
I mean, you got Garrett, you got Garrett Wilson, you got Chris Olave, you got Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not as bad as we thought, and I'm not hyping up product because I don't care.
I could guarantee you every single GM that was looking for a quarterback this year in the draft doesn't agree with you.
But we're looking at the situation, and I know Trey Lance got hurt, and we don't know what he's about. We don't know if he'll ever play again. We don't know if he'll play, if he'll be effective. You got Mac Jones got benched. You've got Trevor, is he still gonna be good?
I think I've seen enough from Trevor Lawrence, and I know they've had a really frustrating start because I think they've been in a lot of games.
They're a lot better than their record.
Absolutely, yeah. and he is not the problem there. That's a team that's not built quite yet. Like, they are still building towards something. They're better than they were a year ago. They've got a way better coaching position. They're way better in coaching position. He's going to eventually be the number one guy easily.
You get Trevor Lawrence, you switch the Bengals receivers with the Jags receivers, and Trevor Lawrence is an all-pro.
Now, did Jamar Chase?
I think that is
Agreed.
the glaring. I think that's the glaring issue that they have on their team.
They don't have any.
They don't have that surefire number one receiver.
Christian Kirk.
They surefire number one.
They sure paid
receiver.
him like a number one.
Well,
I think the best thing that happened to them is Travis Etienne really showed some potential this weekend.
And that was my guy last week, guys. If you remember, they said, "Who are you gonna pick?" I said,
Trevor needs a guy. He needs a couple guys. You're right to carry the load a little bit with him there, because he will clearly be. He's clearly the most talented of that class. I from the get go, I think it was pretty obvious of a class that is a very good class still, but it doesn't feel. I think we also are thinking it's more disappointing because 2020 is so incredible right now, where like the gap between Hurts and Tua and Burrow and Herbert, I think, has shrunk a lot more this year.
Yeah.
So suddenly that's like there are three top guys you could make an argument for a fourth.
We're
top
missing
guy.
one guy. One guy got put into the mix. We have the worst penmanship of 2021, Sam Ellinger.
Yeah, you need
now the starting quarterback for a good Colts team.
Yeah.
A talented
Have a good
Colts
defense.
team.
Yeah.
Starter for the rest of the year.
Yeah, could be your.
Could
be our next Sean Mannion. I mean, in a good way.
No, I actually think his market value is probably skyrocketed. We're probably too late to the game. You needed to be buying Sam Ellinger like 3-4 weeks ago.
Look, I have a rule, though. I only buy autos of players where I don't have to put it under a microscope to even see that they wrote
His
on the
penmanship
card.
is terrible, but maybe he's a baller. Maybe
Yeah.
he doesn't spend time on his autograph. He spends time making plays.
I'm sure we talked about this. The worst auto for a marquee player in the hobby. I'm sure this has been brought up, but he is now in that conversation. If
Well,
he
he's not
does
a
become
marquee
quarterback.
player yet,
Not yet,
right?
not yet. But if he does start to break out, he'll be in that
He
conversation.
is part of the elite. There's only 32 starting
That's
quarterbacks
true.
in the NFL,
That's
and
true.
he is one of them.
Yeah.
You know, there's a guy that I've been, looking at trade rumors, and I've been looking at, when McCaffrey came aboard, and then obviously my hatred for Jimmy Garoppolo on a week-to-week basis. There's a name that people are throwing around, and I don't know if there's an investment opportunity, and I don't even know what his cards sell for, but people keep throwing the name of Tyler Huntley around from the Ravens, who's not really played much, but when he did play, he looked really well. And Cody's not liking that pick.
I was gonna say if I had drop buttons, I would just play the cricket noise right now.
There was a trade today. I mean, we're getting close to that trade deadline. There was a trade today. The Eagles got a lot better. Robert Quinn going to the Eagles. So
He's still playing?
He's still playing, and he's a good ball player. He's a good ball player. He wasn't. I mean, I think at one point he led the league in sacks.
He's not as good as Samson Ebukam, but he's all right.
Samson Ebukam.
Yeah. Good time for Philly sports right now, by the way.
It is.
Could it be any better?
Flyers.
Is that a
Philly
perfect segue into our next topic?
You better believe it.
From Hurts to Harper. Bryce Harper, your face of baseball.
I mean,
looks like
everybody's face of baseball.
Looks
I mean,
like-
he wins a World Series and wins the World Series MVP. You cannot debate that he is the face of baseball.
But yeah, and I don't disagree. And he's the biggest benefit in the hobby, I think, out of any of those players, right? I mean, maybe Jordan can gain from
Definitely.
Jeremy
World Series
Pena.
champions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The timing of Topps update could not have been better. The fact that you have Jeremy Pena's first rookies and you've got Bryson Stott's first rookies, and obviously Pena, the bigger name, just won the ALCS MVP, had a very good rookie year. So I think that's like really could not have gone any better.
And I think
for
we're
Topps.
breaking a little bit of that on Friday. So
Yep,
Mojobreak.com, update, get your team. We ship all cards. We've been grinding away, doing breaks for 12 years. We still ship all cards. We still do Topps update, along with all the high-end stuff, too.
Grinding.
Grinding.
You put your head down.
Put your head down and grind.
And just grind. You never stop. You never
grindstone.
take time to pull your head up.
No.
And look.
I don't even drink water. How do you hide it? You didn't even try to drink
Get it
water.
out of there. Hydration,
Well, I mean,
overrated.
I'm getting up there in age. I got to care about my health a little bit, right?
I mean, Dan's the next Portnoy, even though he might be older than Dave Portnoy.
No, actually, I think he's got a couple years on me. I can't really say that about many people now, but I can say that about Portnoy. I think he has 4 years maybe.
I'll have to look it up.
4 years maybe.
In terms of like breaker lore, if you want to start throwing in like we were the first generation, so there's like nobody we could say I'm the next. Maybe the next.
I'm the
Rip Master.
I'm the next.
The next,
Maybe the next Don West.
I'm the next Mr. Mint.
No. Well, that's exactly it. Like I'm gonna be the next Don West.
Yeah.
That is. 100.
But he didn't actually rip cards on camera. He just sold cards. I guess that's a form of it.
Get the mustache. Get the shirt.
Legends.
Get on. Was it Home Shopping Network? Right. Not
Believe-
the other
yeah.
one.
QVC would be the other one. I get them all mixed up.
It's funny. Like we talk about Home Shopping Network. And I really, and this is not a knock on where our industry is going, but I feel like we're taking that step back into the home shopping network, just with like the live commerce. But the home shopping network is still relevant.
Yeah,
it's still I can go home and I can watch it, and it's still a thing. I mean, we're talking, what, 35, 40 years of just going strong?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's catered to a certain demographic of now.
Grandmothers.
Right?
Yes.
I'm all sitting right here at the table.
Yeah. I mean, but it works, and that's why I think, we've got these,
I think
we talk about our friends at Loupe, and we talk about all these other live online platforms for selling, and I think we're there where it's going to kind of be probably never as big as Home Shopping Network, but it's going to be kind of like, you had one channel when we were kids, or we had 14 channels, and now we have thousands. So now that's kind of what the evolving of that has become.
So Home Shopping Network, just to talk about
You just gave me an idea. We should call them and see if we can do breaks in there.
Well, do you? And I haven't watched it for a while. I'm pretty sure it's the same way it's always been. You physically have to get your phone and call an order, right?
I believe.
You have to talk to an operator.
I believe they have shifted.
Or do they have the QR code now? That you can, because you see it on certain commercials now on TV where you can actually open your phone and take the QR code and it takes you to whatever, item they're selling. I wonder if they have that for home shop. I'm assuming they have to, right?
I'm assuming so, yeah.
I can tell you this is we don't watch it often, but my wife's guilty pleasure, she likes to go on QVC or Home Shopping Network and go, I wonder what they're selling right now, and just likes to watch for a minute. I don't recall there being
jewelry a lot.
There's jewelry. There's a lot of clothing, mostly, and then obviously seasonal stuff. It feels like it's always Christmas on Home Shopping Network. I should also say that they do Christmas sales in like March and
my nightmare.
And July.
It's my nightmare.
Yeah, they're like never too early for Christmas. Like yeah, it is. It's August. It's too early. I think there might be QR codes, but they have shifted to like go to our website.
Like February.
Yeah,
it's never too early for Christmas.
They're like, no, they will do like January, like Christmas blowout sale. We got to get rid of this stuff, and then it's like March again. It's like, whoa,
make sure you're well prepared for next Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. But I think there is like a website you can go on, and maybe a QR code. So they've gotten to this.
They got to have the QR code, right? But I mean, if I was to go on, I'd go old school. I'd get a landline.
Yep.
Because, I mean, you
plugged into the wall.
If you're gonna do it, I mean, do it right.
You gotta get a rotary phone then.
Yeah, you got to get a rotary phone, landline, and just sit there.
That is the best part of it.
Do you think you'd be able to dial on that thing?
Would I be able to dial? Sure, dude.
There's a certain way to do it.
Yep. No, you're not that young. Like you
No, but I think by the time I was calling my friends, we had like at least
100%.
At least a touch tone phone.
I am positive if you had a rotary phone, I don't know what you would hook it up to, but I think you would be able to.
And
navigate.
I remember the phone cords being like 30 feet long at one point.
Well, you had. I mean, they didn't
cook dinner.
They didn't have cordless phones. You just needed to have like a 70-foot cable.
And they were amazingly powered just by the telephone. You know what I mean? There wasn't like a power thing for the actual phone itself.
The phone did not have to, unless it was a cordless phone.
Right.
Like,
but if it was like a receiver, you could walk around and there's no power.
There's no power.
The phone line.
There was no power. It was amazing.
It's ahead of itself. Anyways, now we're getting off topic. But it's going to be Christmas for either Philadelphia or Houston.
Hey everybody, thanks so much for watching The Hype. Before we get back to the action, we want to let you know about the brand new eBay Vault. Now, why vault your cards with the original marketplace? Well, that's because the eBay Vault isn't just a way to protect what you collect, it's a new way to trade. Not only have your cards never been safer, thanks to their secure, climate-controlled facility, but you're also locking in real savings. You pay no sales tax when you ship to or transact within the vault, and there are no storage fees for 2 years. Just imagine what you can do with all that money that you're saving. And with the eBay Vault's seamless in-app experience, you can track, buy, and sell your cards in real time. From listing your cards in seconds with eBay Collection to tracking trends with the eBay Price Guide, managing your collection is more seamless than ever before. The eBay Vault. Buy, sell, secure.
And I want to actually just dive into Bryce Harper, because I feel like most of these collectors weren't born when he was a rookie. So does if he you know,
Wait, most collectors are 10 years old.
Well, I mean, yeah,
2012.
Yeah, I was
But
like,
I will say
his
this.
first card was 2010.
But the hype for Harper though does predate that by quite a bit. Like,
Yeah.
well, he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Like
I remember,
2008, yeah.
yeah, 2007 or 2008. Like, I
so
remember.
you're getting there, Doug.
I'm
You're
close,
getting
that's
there.
what I'm saying.
You're getting
Yeah,
I'm
I
saying,
remember
so,
being
like-
in high school, and I think that was the first time I heard about Bryce Harper. Like, as like a senior going into college, I was like, wow, this is crazy.
I think he had 2009 Upper Deck USA auto. So back then, Upper Deck had the Baseball USA license, which then went to Topps, and I now believe Panini has it. Actually, Leaf might even have it now. So the USA baseball license gets floated around. But back then, they had it, and it was one of his first autos was on Upper Deck in his USA outfit. Then he had the 2010 Bowman Chrome USA auto, which is kind of famous.
Which is
And then
apparently Super Factory Raw is worth $1 million.
somebody's asking $1 million for it on a Facebook group. So, which is crazy, firstborn child, whatever.
Like, I know what I got.
I know what I got.
I know what I got.
But then 2011, he had a paper auto, and then he had a Bowman Chrome auto later. The Bowman Chrome auto tends to be the one that people go after. And that's what Topps actually used to do. Remember that? They would release a paper auto first, because they did that with Strasburg too. And then they would release the Chrome version later. So 2011, Bowman Chrome, if they win the World Series, now I know he's in a Nationals uni, does that card go up? Does it double? Does it stay the same? I mean, things are dipping. Dip. You dip, Daniel?
I think it goes up. I don't know about double. Harper's already pretty expensive. It's not like he is coming out of nowhere. We're not like, oh man, this is Bryce
He's
Harper.
fluctuated a lot.
Yeah,
though.
but we're not gonna be looking, going, man, like Bryce Harper hit 300 and with 4 homers in the World Series. That blows my mind. Where'd he come from? Like he's an MVP. Very well could win an MVP again. If he didn't get hurt, he was on path to win another MVP.
What did his stats look like in this postseason so far? I know he hit that big home run.
He's the NLCS MVP. He's having a great postseason. It's obviously the longest postseason he's had in his career, going to the first World Series of his career.
He's going to win one before Mike Trout.
Yeah, and that's where I think is the interesting question. Obviously, he's never going to reach Mike Trout prices, but
better.
But these two are going to be right. They're going to be forever connected. And as both were rookies in the same year, both had those All-Star game appearances as rookies, they're best friends. Like, they will forever be connected. And if Harper gets that World Series ring before he does, I think this is one of the few
Actually,
cases.
better yet, though,
Huh.
if you look on the other side, Dusty Baker. He has the longest drought of any successful manager
Harper,
all time.
Harper is
I know he's not a player.
Harper potentially could win a World Series for the Phillies.
Yeah.
Mike Trout, Philly fan.
Yeah, this is what, to me, this is
Like-
where if he wins, I genuinely believe
He's
that,
going to Philly.
There's a part of me that
He's
thinks
going to Philly.
that Mike Trout will say, boy, that looked fun. I literally rooted for this team when I was a kid. I'm a season ticket holder to the Philadelphia Eagles games, and they're all having a blast. Why don't I just go join Bryce Harper and company? To me, it was the path they were always heading down when they signed Harper in the first place. And then what changed everything was Trout signing that huge deal.
Yeah.
And it kind of was like, well, he kind of is stuck there, right? I don't know. That's a lot to ask to get basically $600 million in two guys.
Angels, they can't. They've tried. They've tried to build a team around Mike Trout.
Yeah.
They
have not done a good job of it.
It's not going to happen. I think it's time. I think you at the offseason, they got to break it down. I mean, they probably got to trade Ohtani as well. I think it's time to literally break it down, rebuild, start from scratch. Imagine, even with that contract, imagine what they can get back for Trout.
You have two of maybe the greatest trade assets at your disposal, if you want to look at it that way.
Get a bunch of picks and
with
young
Trout.
prospects.
Yeah, I mean, you can literally rebuild a farm system. You can be ready to, if you want to look at it that way. Now, I know the money that Trout and
Phillies are
Ohtani
like, we
bring
will
in.
give you Reese Hoskins. We will give you
Philly fanatic.
Bryce and
Philly
Scott.
fanatic.
Philly
Would you
fanatic.
trade the Philly fanatic for Mike Trout?
What was their old stadium that they used to be in?
We'll give you the vet.
We'll give you the vet if it's still there.
John
give you-
Kruk.
We'll give you John Kruk. But
We're gonna give you Lenny Dykstra.
Well, they'd be like, well, hold a minute. Well, wait a minute. We didn't agree to this. I think, though, Harper is one of those few guys, because we always talk about how baseball players winning a World Series doesn't do that much for your value. I really do think it does a really good. This is one of those things where I think it really will help his value in the card market, because I think there's a lot of people who don't like his attitude, or like we're like, he never can make it. He's sort of the same thing as Harper. He can't make it. He's not a winner. Blah blah blah. Whereas I think this kind of changes it. Doing it for Philadelphia, I really
on
does
paper
help
though, who's a better team in your opinion?
Oh, Houston. Houston should win in 4 games. Like, they're that good. Now, the World Series is weird. Phillies have been great, but Houston is so far and away better than the Philadelphia Phillies.
But you
I'm
have
saying
the Dusty
Phillies. I'm
curse.
saying Astros in 5.
Yeah, I mean,
The Dusty
okay,
curse.
okay,
Which
yeah.
I heard, and actually I got to give you some credit, because we did do the face of baseball, and that was this year, even though it felt like it was last year.
Said Bryce Harper.
And you were the one that said Bryce Harper, and I don't think any of our guys are in it, because I said Tatis. That was horribly wrong.
I said Juan Soto. I was almost there.
Yeah.
I was,
Tatis is the face
I
of
was almost
something,
right.
but it ain't baseball.
No, yeah, the face of ringworms. No, I'm kidding, Fernando. Don't text me. No, but I just heard a report. I guess Dusty Baker smoked with Jimi Hendrix.
dude, of course he did.
Isn't that crazy?
Because Dusty's the man.
He kind of
Dusty's
is.
so
Wait,
damn
wait,
cool.
Like weed?
I would
so.
imagine.
Yeah. While
Now-
he was on the Dodgers, I believe.
That makes that all
Did
checks out.
Dusty play that long ago?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's been a while. He
Yes.
would have been. Now he would have been like a rookie. He would have been like a rookie, but still.
Yeah, because I'm like, I mean, how? It's crazy.
He's up there.
It's crazy to think Dusty Baker is that old, because he doesn't act. He doesn't like. He's.
He looks
always-
great for his age.
Yeah, he's super energetic. You got the toothpick. I mean, I am rooting for
Smoking a
Dusty.
joint, yes.
I am rooting for Dusty, but I believe the Dusty curse is a real thing. He will outcoach himself, and I think the Phillies are going to win.
Oh boy, I mean, Phillies have that team of destiny feel right now. They've got and
they snuck into the playoffs.
yep, and I think that the Philadelphia crowd presents a home field advantage
Oh.
that no other
Oh.
place has. I mean, yeah, you want to talk
They're
about?
gonna, I mean, I would love to go see
It was
a World
It
Series
was Dusty's
game.
18th birthday in 1967.
There you go. That checks out.
Yeah, that's pretty remarkable.
Dusty's awesome. Love him.
Just
Hope
adding-
you know what? I'll ignore all of the trash can, the cheating, all that, because I like Dusty.
No,
that
it doesn't matter. Well, that wouldn't happen on Dusty's watch.
No, that's the whole reason
Like
they
that.
got him.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like this, they win this World Series, it almost wipes out that cloud that's over.
Yeah.
Does he
that
retire after
franchise.
this? He has to.
I
right?
think he coaches forever. I think he loves it too much.
I want him to stick around just to see Boch and Dusty manage against each other one last
Ooh,
time.
Texas
I just
against
want to see
Houston?
that.
Is-
Yeah.
I mean, who retires first? Bruce Bochy or Dusty Baker?
Yeah. I will say, I think if they win, I think there's a good chance Dusty says, "All right, I got my one." You know, because if he could retire right now without a World
I
Series,
mean,
and he's still a Hall of Fame
is,
manager.
Is he the most winningest?
he is without a ring.
Manager
By
without
far.
a ring?
By
Yes.
far.
Yeah.
By
I remember I looked this up, and it was like he was. I think Bobby Cox was holding the candle for a while, but they got that one.
They have the
obviously.
one in '95.
But
If
it
I'm
was
not,
like
and if I'm not mistaken, I think when so Dusty Baker took over for Roger Craig, right?
Yep.
And Dusty Baker was the hitting coach for Roger Craig, at least 89, 90,
I'd have to look
something
that
like
up.
that. I know he was
think you're
in the he was in the organization. I mean, the Giants really haven't had that many. You look at it like the last 30 years, the Giants really haven't had that many managers. What, 3?
Since Dusty, including Dusty, there have been 4 managers
Yeah,
of the
Dusty,
Giants.
Alou,
Boch,
Bochy,
and Kapler.
and Kapler.
Well, it goes like this. If you go by wins, you go Connie Mack, Tony La Russa, John McGraw, Bobby Cox, Joe Torre, Sparky Anderson, Bucky Harris, Joe McCarthy, and Dusty Baker. So he's the only one. Then it goes Walter Alston, Leo DeRocher, Bruce Bochy, Casey Stengel. So he is the only one in the top 13
Yeah.
without a championship. That's crazy.
And you look, I mean, there was not a lot of modern day names that were. I mean, Bobby Cox, you can say modern day I think Tony La Russa was
La
on
Russa,
that. You can say
Boch.
modern day.
Yeah.
Putting the word modern in front of La Russa is sounds odd.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to go to the 14th coach overall with 1,900 wins, Gene Mach, who didn't even go to a World Series.
Jeez.
So, who just probably coached for a very long time.
But I'll say it ends. This is it. This is the Dusty World Series. They're so good. They're so much better than every other team that was, even when they made it the next round. The moment you saw it was Phillies, Padres, Yankees, and them. It's like, well, they're so much better than those two.
You know, there's crazy things. That
I know.
can
Baseball's
happen.
weird.
You only got to get first one to 4 wins.
Yeah.
Like, I mean.
And I'll say this. I think that the Phillies have an advantage with Wheeler and Nola in game 1 and 2, but Astros also are going to throw out Verlander, Fromber. I think the rotation is way deeper for the Astros. The bullpen is way deeper. If the after those first 2 starters, Philly's bullpen has been shaky. They've been better lately, and the rotation is a little weak after you get past those first 2 guys. Just to me, Astros are the full package. But you're right. Things could get weird because they always do, because that's baseball.
Yeah, let's get weird.
Yeah, and before we get into the DJ Skee segment here, which is a fabulous listen, by the way, we've got select basketball this week, guys. We've got 21-22 select basketball. I think it's the perfect timing for it. Zebras, golds, autos. I mean, so much chase. I think it's actually gotten to a price point that's a little bit more affordable, making the breaks more affordable at Mojobreak.com, grabbing personals on Loupe at $6.99 as opposed to $1,500 in past years, which is definitely not quite affordable unless you're big baller status like Dusty Baker, and
he's a confirmed baller.
Yeah, he's a confirmed. So yeah, I mean it's right in the swing of basketball, and we got the new rookies coming in. Kind of still got Cade playing well. You've got a great rookie class, and Select is like kind of one of those staple basketball products to get in on it. 3 hits, lots of parallels, lots of rookies. Great timing.
It's a great time. It's a great timeout.
It's a great timeout.
It's a great timeout.
And we have Black Football.
Thank you, Chris Cohan.
Right. We got Black Football, 2022 Black Football, which you want to talk about even more affordable with a hit-based product. Like I said, arguably the 2022 rookie class might arguably be better than 2021. I don't know. It's crazy. I know it's crazy talk, but we got a lot of. If Breece Hall didn't go down, that would have pushed it over the edge.
Yeah,
pushed it over the edge.
I don't think it would have pushed it over the edge.
It would have. Because you have Damian Pierce, you got Breece Hall, you got
Breece
Chris
Hall,
Olave.
I think was pretty much the leading candidate for offensive rookie of the year, right?
I'm getting a vibe. Doug's just like,
but
there's a lot of 2022 products still to come out. We got to be glasses half full.
Yeah, but you got to look at
Desmond Ritter. Come on down. Come on.
Exactly. And you got Desmond Ritter. You got Drake London, who's doing well.
You can't be like, Desmond Ritter hasn't even sniffed the field.
Yeah, but that's better than like a guy that's like looking like crap.
Hey,
there.
you know what? What? If I'm gonna play the devil's advocate here, or maybe I'll be on I'll be on Doug's side here.
Take your 2022 product. I'll take my 2021 product.
Matt Corral.
I was just
is not gonna play this year.
But
the Panthers QB situation is a mess.
Yeah.
Baker,
gonna get a shot next year.
Baker's coming back.
No.
PJ Walker.
We can't give up. Yeah, I mean, look at PJ Walker.
PJ Walker.
It's true. They did beat the Tom Brady's.
Yeah.
I
the most catchable deep ball of the year. Mike Evans dropped it and cost me a fantasy win this week. So, not that I'm bitter.
And then, yeah, I know fantasy. Actually, I've been winning fantasy games. My team in real life can't win, but I'm 5-1 in one league, 4-3 in another league, and 4-3 in the other league, something like that. I'm on the winning side.
People
of all
tune in to hear about us talk
fantasy
about
time.
our
If there's
personal.
one thing-
There's one thing that people love is hearing other people talk about their fantasy leagues.
Amen.
Yeah, just about it ranks right up there with how well did you do at Call of Duty last night.
Yep. And also, oh man, I had this crazy dream. You won't believe it.
Yeah.
Those are everyone loves hearing about those things.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let me take some time to sit down and hear about this. But anyways, also update baseball is probably one of the better updates in the last couple of years. I mean, it's like they waited, and these guys you mentioned from the guy from the Astros,
Pena.
Yep.
Pena, and you've got obviously Julio, You've got, I know Wander Franco already had one, but he sprinkled in as an SP.
He's back again.
So lots of good chase in
Bobby Witt.
update.
Yeah.
Bobby Witt.
I think, You're looking at the checklist.
Do we got Torque? Do we got
Torque is in there?
We got them all.
They're all, the
Front to
gang's
back,
all here.
the gang is all here.
And
yeah.
the guy from the Indians is in there too?
The Guardians, yeah, but
Or,
yes.
fuck.
It's all good. And that's
Is it Stephen
Indian
Kwan?
Stephen Kwan.
Stephen Kwan from the Guardians.
Stephen Kwan, Los Gatos legend. Stephen Kwan
Los
is
Gatos Guardians.
I'm sorry.
That's right.
Guardians.
You're fine.
Guardians.
You're good.
I
Yeah, Los Gatos legend. Stephen Kwan is in there. Also, who else we got? Yeah, Pena, Bryson Stott, Seiya Suzuki. Finally, who was a guy that I feel like at the beginning of the year.
Oh, he's in there?
He's finally in there.
Cubs.
Although, no autos of him. Everybody else has autos except Seiya. I don't know what the
Must be
holdup
hard to
is.
chase down.
Yeah, obviously.
Or expensive.
Yeah, or
expensive.
Maybe he's
That's my guess. Is he's
I almost
little
had a. Did you hear the Commanders? I think it was. She had a slip and she was remembering some kind of thing and she said the old name and fans went crazy. I almost did that.
Well, I'll tell you right now. Washington had a Thursday night game at some point. It was this season, and I was listening to it on the radio on the way home, and one of the announcers, I want to say it was the road teams, like announcers, said their old team like probably 10 times in the broadcast.
Jeez.
I mean, just kept on doing it. I'm like,
They haven't been that for 2 years.
You could slip up once, twice. I get it, but we're talking. I mean, it was like he didn't even know.
Well,
he didn't even like know they changed.
No one gave him
he just kept on going for it, and no one had the heart to basically get in his ear and be like,
Well, they were.
"Hey,
They're banning sell the team signs. They're like making people take them off, or like some even people put like bags over their heads and sell the team.
Yeah, you
and
wanna
they're
talk
walking
about
around the stadium saying you cannot have that.
Dan Snyder's gonna Dan Snyder, isn't he? He is. That what a mess that organization is.
Yeah.
did they still do? I mean, I want to say the Saints, when they were really bad, they would have like fans show up and they would have just bags over their heads.
They
the
kind of.
Browns.
They kind of started that.
I think that was a thing for like a lot of teams. I think at one point the Rams.
Yeah.
Had
The- I think the Saints
They
started
still
that in
do?
the 70s when they were like, and they would put the Aints on it.
Yeah.
Yes.
But then, now everybody's doing it, and I gotta say, let's all get a new. Let's get a new trick. Let's do something new, folks. Get creative.
Let's
you
do
know?
the wave.
Let's not do the way.
That's okay.
I know, I'm kidding.
That's all right.
Yeah. Well, before we go, we were talking about Qualcomm. I have a trivia question for you two.
Okay.
Matt Harvey.
No. Before, and I my money's on Cody on this one,
All right.
but Doug may surprise me. Before the Padres stadium was called Qualcomm, what was it before?
Ooh. Can I go first?
Go ahead.
Jack Murphy Stadium.
Yeah, Jack
Oh, wow.
Surprised you. didn't
Wow.
I?
Cody rolled his eyes
I
over there.
had it. I had it in the holster. I'll be honest. No,
I am
So,
not
yeah,
the baseball guru around here, but I
That,
can pull some out.
that concludes this week of Random Trivia, brought to you by The Hype.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. Honestly, old stadium names. That is my wheelhouse.
That's your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Comiskey was that? Was the White Sox, right?
That was Comiskey, which now it's what is it? Guaranteed Rate Field.
What was the old Detroit Tiger Stadium?
Tiger Stadium.
Was it just Tiger Stadium?
It was
How
just
about,
Tiger
how
Stadium.
about the Pirates?
That would be. Oh God. Sheep Park.
Three Rivers Stadium?
Oh,
I'm going
yeah.
way back. I think I'm going way
Yeah,
back.
Three
But you're
Rivers.
right. Three Rivers. Steelers and
Because
Steelers
there's one thing I know.
And what was the old New York Giant Polo Grounds, right?
the Polo Grounds.
Did the Yankees play there too?
Yankees
Forbes,
played there for
Forbes
a minute?
Field would have been.
Addis, Cleveland, I believe.
Was it true that the Polo Grounds like fence was like 200 feet in like right field or something like that? But it was
Yeah.
like 500.
I think
in
it's
center?
like it was like 250, 275 down the lines.
Isn't that the famous Willie Mays
Yes.
catch, like running
Yeah.
through it?
Literally
700 yards.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't going to be a homer.
literally ran a football field length to get it and then threw it back in to make sure and so no one would score.
I remember
think
it
it's
was
the more
like,
remarkable part
Wasn't
of
it like the angle just like it was like this and there's like that
The-
for like center?
yeah.
It was like
So, and one other thing, we're talking about stadiums, and I think we've actually talked about this in the past, maybe even with Cody. The dumbest design for a stadium, Minute Maid Park, when they had the hill in center field.
so awful.
Like,
but so great how
like,
awful it is.
But why?
Terrible. And I want to say there was at least a flagpole around it.
There was.
Yeah.
There was like a pole that was in the middle.
The best part of that is the first year they got rid of. They realized, oh, we've made a terrible mistake. Get rid of the pole. But what of this hill? Nah, keep it.
Yeah, because you had to run into center field up a hill, right?
Up a hill. It went up
Up a
and
hill.
there's a pole.
There's a great Jim Edmonds made one of the best catches ever running up the hill.
did he
It was
dive,
awesome.
like-
Yeah, dived onto the hill if I'm not mistaken. It was an awesome
Mr.
catch.
What a
Edmonds, yeah,
what a
Mr. Edmonds.
props to the engineers and designers of Minute Maid Park back in the day.
Or what it used to be called, if you remember that. A
A
very controversial company.
was it not? I thought it was
Marlboro.
No.
I thought it was Minute Maid like out of the gate.
It's because only for a year was it called Enron Field.
oh, it
Yep.
makes sense.
In early 2000s, look up Enron and you'll see why it's no longer called
And
Enron
they sold
Field.
it to the fine people of Minute Maid.
Yep.
Yep.
Is it still called Minute Maid?
Still called Minute Maid.
Oh, is it?
The Juice, as
And-
some fans call it.
Tropicana?
Still called the Trop.
Is that also the juice company?
Yes, it is.
Yes, that's good orange
Yes,
juice.
Florida-based orange juice company.
Gotta get pulp.
So you ever want to
No
name a
pulp.
stadium? Get into the juice company.
You don't like pulp in your orange juice?
Nah, no pulp.
Really?
I'm a no pulp guy.
Yeah.
Some
see,
pulp
my-
is fine.
My wife doesn't like the pulp either, so I never get to get the pulp.
I like the pulp, but I don't like too much of it because there's like you can get extra.
Extra pulp?
There's extra pulp.
That is just demonic.
Just at that point, just eat an orange.
Do you like the Do you like the boba drinks with the?
Oh hell
Okay.
no!
See, that explains
I
it.
like,
Oh,
but bulb,
hell
that's
no.
different. Bulb is
Dude,
different.
I don't want gummy balls in my tea, bro.
See, but I'm yeah,
It's like snot balls, bro.
it's different.
That is, and the straw's like just a huge ass diameter. You gotta suck up the balls.
Yeah, it's thick.
It's good. All right, guys. Well, that's enough for this show.
Man, we
And
can't.
we'll
No,
leave you on
I
that.
can't. I can't.
We
My
will leave you on
the
boba.
last
tea.
thing that I say in this podcast cannot be sucking up balls.
Well,
And
fortunately,
that's
it's
it for
today.
All right, guys. Well, yeah, make sure you jump in on Black Football, Update Baseball, Jumbo, and we will have hobby available at mojobreakshop.com at a great price. We also are going to be breaking select basketball for a while. We still have Natural Treasure Soccer at mojobreak.com. And join us on the Loupe app. And here comes DJ Skee, guys.
What's up, everybody? Mojobreak on Loupe is live. Cody with you, Doug with you, and you probably already know this guy standing, looking on Loupe, sitting in front of our cameras. Music legend, entrepreneur, hobby legend, DJ Skee's
What's
in the
up,
house.
guys? So glad to be here. And congrats to Loupe for 2 years. It's crazy.
That's right.
Yes.
I couldn't believe it's been 2 years already. It seems like just yesterday we were all sitting home in the pandemic breaking boxes for the first time.
Yeah.
The app started. And now look at where we are. Your guys' place is insane.
We appreciate that, man.
I love it.
We forgot the balloons, though. We should have had some balloons.
Yeah,
I know,
where's the
right?
cake?
The cake, balloons next time.
DJ Skee, what's up, man? How we doing?
Man, I'm excited to be here, man.
Yeah.
It's good times. It's my favorite month of the year, right? Like we're wrapping up. We got like the 4 major sports going on right now. So I just love October.
Yeah.
Right? Like October baseball, even though the series didn't go as long as I wanted for the championship series. So
Yeah, only 4 games for what the Astros and Astros
5
Phillies.
Phillies on, right?
I feel like that's a weird one because like Astros, they're like the team everyone hates,
Yeah,
but
and
like
they're gonna win.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right. But like
They
Philadelphia sports also just has that
the grittiness,
right.
literally.
Right, Philadelphia sports fans have a reputation. There you go. I was trying to figure out a nice way to say that.
Yeah,
that
it's
you
a
know,
nice way to
Well,
say
bigger for
Yeah.
the hobby, though, probably Bryce Harper winning one, right?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was great.
for sure.
He was a great pickup for the last couple of years, right? Like a lot of people just forgot about him, right? And like he's still was, I remember just the hype. I went to because when he got called up by Washington, it was in LA. So I remember hearing that night that he got called up. So I got dugout club seats because I was like, I want to see this kid that's so hyped. And I remember he smoked the ball. I think he got a single, but he was just smoking. It was just incredible watching that energy, and he had that like star appeal then. And now it's like that home run is just still.
Oh yeah, locked in, legendary. Like that's already maybe maybe I'm going out on a limb here. I feel like that's the top 5 Philadelphia sports moment right now. That was incredible to watch live too. Yeah, man, he is something else. I want to talk about a little bit about you and your journey into this world before we get going and start ripping some boxes. But like, obviously, your background in music, Skee TV, radio, and then all of that builds up to you venturing into cards and collectibles. When you start to kind of pick out like what do you want to do as a business venture, like what attracted you to this world?
Sure. So like sports cards was actually my first business as, like a 7-8-year-old. Like I used to sell them in my garage and to my friends and just became obsessed with it. It was my way to interact with sports and my favorite players. Growing up in Minnesota and watching, Kirby Puckett, who we have right here, win the World Series in '91 is what got me hooked. Like it was my first high. So, and after that, that's when I was like, I can buy cards of these players that I love. So that from there, the rest was history. Got into music and like DJing was the path that I took down. When I moved to LA when I was 17 after I got a job for the CEO of Loud Records. I had to get rid of all my stuff just because I had to pay rent in LA and I wasn't getting paid that much. But then over the years got back into it. I've always been like my father was always deep into collecting, right? Like I think as a kid he'd always get me like signed balls and we'd go to the games and stadiums and I'd get signatures. Actually, I still have. In the '91 World Series, the Twins starting catcher, Brian Harper, threw me his batting glove before Game 7, and I still have that. And I actually went back and got his like game-used jersey now.
No way.
And framed them together. Wow. So I've always been into like collecting and memorabilia. And well, a lot of people know me from music. That enabled me to like really go deep and start buying and getting all these crazy things. And I was also super deep in the sneaker scene. And when the pandemic happened, right, like I'd started getting back into cards, right? But I do a lot of work with sports teams and leagues on the entertainment side. So still go back to Minnesota and DJ all our Vikings games. I do stuff with the University of Michigan now. We've done everything from like the New Orleans Saints, NBA Finals, MLB now, All-Star Game, playoffs, you name it. And so there's always it was a natural intersection. I just like the reason I DJ a lot of that stuff is it's my excuse to go to games.
Yeah,
really, like
definitely.
And be in the field. So I just try to find ways to get paid off of things that I love, and that's how kind of cards came about. Like I saw the scene really exploding, and knowing that my background in sports and kind of collecting and entertainment, and obviously like I'd always been deep into sports cards. I just jumped all in, especially when I had the pandemic. Like everybody else, we had a lot more time and just went crazy and really like had the time. Like I'd started accumulating and collecting a little before that, but was able to really go all in and then come with all these like just things that happen, like doing the cards with Topps like we have in front of us. Investing, getting involved in companies like Loupe that we were an early investor in, opening shops like Cards and Coffee, interacting with all you guys, like DJing the Panini. We were just talking about Atlantic City parties, and for me, it's just so much fun, right? Like I love the memories and just looking at all these things on the table. I'm so excited to open it up. So that's my story.
Yeah. What was one of the first boxes when you jumped back in that you opened up?
It was a basketball. It was what was it? It was Prism basketball. I forget which year. And I had the worst box ever, like the worst hits. I remember who was I? I forget. I was like sending pictures. People are like, "Oh, you literally got the worst box ever." Usually it's the opposite. Usually you get your big hits, right, and then you never get anything again.
Right.
This I got literally like less than anything ever.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Maybe it's a good thing. It humbles you at the beginning.
It did,
like,
for sure.
It's got to be
Like,
better than this, right?
Yeah, exactly. I was only going up from that.
Yeah.
But, then got in. And then I started buying like a bunch of old classic stuff. Like I love all the old like 90s and like always hunting for inserts and all the baseball stuff. We're talking about products like everything really like baseball, basketball, football is what I really love, as well as like a lot of that alternative random stuff.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think that's something that we've kind of latched onto is a lot of, especially like music stuff. And like it just feels like that's still this untapped market.
And that's what I love, right? And that's why even my cards, right? Like I try to combine all the cards I did with Topps were themed with some music inspiration, where I'd combine an album, whether it's Prince and Kirby Puckett with a player, right? And like that was me remixing it as a DJ. I thought it made sense for my brand. It brought me back to when I was doing mixtapes, right? Like creating those covers, because that's how we'd have to sell them. That's all people would see. So it's basically creating like mixtape covers from baseball cards, which was so fun for that project.
Yeah. And you had QR codes for playlists.
Yeah,
that was an awesome element.
It was fun. So you could actually have a playlist, so you'd understand, and especially because I'd spend like people are like, oh, you did a cool design. I'm like, I'd spend so much time, actually more time like thinking on the concept than the actual design process. Like it would take days, weeks sometimes, and there'd be so many hidden little details. Like if you look into the card, and I could break those down in the playlist, because if you just look at it, like, oh, it's a cool design, but like everything from like the reason the border is this, the reason that his hand is holding up 3 fingers, like there's probably like 100 little stories in each card, and when you really dive down, it becomes really, really fun for it.
It's the 2-year anniversary of Loupe.
Yes.
You talked about getting involved in Loupe from the get-go here. What attracted you to getting involved with Loupe, maybe compared to other similar platforms?
Yeah, I think Loupe was incredible, right? Just because it was focused on card collectors, and Eric and the team behind it, now Chris and everybody else that's there are like real card heads, right? Like they're actively buying stuff. They know the market. They're not just in it for the dollar signs that they see. Well, there's obviously, we think, a tremendous business opportunity. That's why, like, look, it's a business at the end of the day. They have to make money. That's why we invested in them. But I thought it was just a really like authentic, pure site that was great, and like using it, right, and jumping on and seeing the streams and seeing the reactions and seeing how great the community is. You guys are awesome out there. Like, I try to jump in streams whenever I can, and it's awesome, great just talking with you guys and just seeing the entertainment. And I thought they just built a really good product that was focused specifically on sports cards and for that sports card world. And I thought they, did just an incredible job with it. So.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, doing this now, breaking on Loupe. I know I got Ty here, who's also helping out. So like, we're in agreement. Yeah, it's a great community. We love being a part of it.
Y'all are awesome.
So hey, without further ado, let's rip open some boxes.
Let's go.
Shall we? Let's start off with that in case. If we want to rip that open,
So the only rule before we get started, any Minnesota cards, I get first dibs at, right?
Adrian Peterson.
Let's go, right?
Loupe, what do we say?
Nobody else wants my miserable. I was saying maybe. I mean, we got Justin Jefferson now, right?
We got Mac Jones on the cover. What do we think about that situation? Bailey Zappe, Mac Jones.
I don't know. They should have put a Viking on the play. We're 5-1, right?
Right, exactly.
I'm messed up with that one. I'm excited. I'm trying to debate if we're real or not. I want to see if people in chat. Are the Vikings for real? I mean, we've come back from some of these games. Like, I don't know on the fence. Like, some of the games we should have won that were closer. Others, like, we shouldn't have won, but record's 5-1. All it doesn't matter.
I don't know. This is like the weirdest year of the NFL, like, in years. I know they pride themselves on, like, parity is our one thing. We love that everybody's involved, but, like, it's really hard to tell.
I don't know
because of that who's real.
Like, I'm like, are we going to the Super Bowl or are we gonna fall off? I mean, I'm obviously optimistic, but I've had my heart broken too many times.
Yeah, I think Cousins getting over that playoff hump, right? Getting there, but then getting those wins.
I'll also believe the end of Aaron Rodgers when I see it. I'm at that.
I hate for it. I hate the
we're close. Like, it's as close as it's ever been. But
Vikings and Bears fans uniting on that.
I know.
One.
Right? Oh yeah, we love it. All right, which one?
All right, let's start off with the pack, and then we'll see what is inside that encase pack.
Let's see what we got in here. Let's start off with an auto right here, and I love the customization on this too. Look at that. Tylan Wallace, who writes Ravens Flock. Here, let's see if we can see that up there. That's pretty sick sig.
I like
customization. I like that. Rookie endorsements, number 5 out of 50. That's a great one.
All right.
Not a bad little start. Now,
we'll see what we got.
What are we calling our shot here? 2021. We got Trevor. We got Mac. We got Trey. We got...
I'm calling a Viking. I'm calling a Viking in here, right? Who's 21-21 for the
Kellen Mond?
Kellen Mond, I was going to say.
Probably going to be, right?
Kellen Keen and Wongwu?
Oh, that's a big one.
Oh,
you guys are going to
man.
like this.
Is that a green team there?
It's a green team.
Oh, man.
We just talked about him.
It's somebody, I know, he's from, Graded number.
There we go.
BGS 9, rookie notable signatures, number 37 of 50. We have Zach Wilson.
Wow.
That's a great card right there.
That's incredible.
That's a great get. All right, we're starting off strong right now for the 2-year anniversary here at Loupe.
What do you say? You want to do some rap packs?
Yeah, let's do that. I was going to say, you mentioned Loud Records.
Yes.
And correct me if I'm wrong, that's the Wu-Tang days,
Wu-Tang
right?
Clan, right?
You know, Wu-Tang Forever. I remember the Gravel Pit in my Discman.
That's when I was there, yeah.
You know, it was, I could recite most of the first verse of Triumph.
There we go.
I won't do it for the kids that are watching this, but... We've got some rap packs. We also have some Pro Set Superstars as well. And
sick.
Let's see if we can generate any stories out of these.
It's so sick. I haven't actually ripped these. I've seen the cards in them, but I've never ripped a pack of these. So I'm excited to see what's in this. Enough is enough.
Oh, that's creative.
We're getting some of these like one-hit wonders. This is like opening up like a Bowman set, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Draft.
Yeah, yep.
Years later, and you're like, who the hell are these people?
2004, the guys are already out of the
Colin
league.
James.
Yep.
I've heard the name, but I don't really remember. I feel bad as a DJ. All right. The Bullet Boys. Look at those pants, right? Like, this is their
That's one of Dan's favorites.
There we go.
There we go.
That's smooth up in ya?
That is.
There we go.
I think that is. You're right. That's good knowledge,
The outfits are still stuck in the 80s in this one, too. It's a 91
Good
set.
Halloween outfits now.
Flesh for Lulu. We're getting out there.
Are these real? What's that?
Oh, here we go. Here's a real star.
Is a banger?
Keith Sweat.
Oh, there you go.
I love my 90s R&B, so.
Yep.
Oh, it starts off with a big one. That's a banger.
Ooh.
A young Lenny Kravitz. I don't know if that's a rookie
that
card.
might be rookie Lenny Kravitz.
Is that a rookie Lenny Kravitz?
It'd be pretty close, I'd imagine.
Yeah, exactly. This young artist, debut in 1989, so It's right up there. It's a young Lenny Kravitz. You have Randy Rhoads.
Nice, from Ozzy Osbourne.
With the classic
All right,
little,
yeah.
you remember those like little guitars, the electric guitars that were in fashion then. I used to play guitar and I used to want one of those styles.
Is that a Jackson Jackson V?
Yep.
We got a music store, so he knows all the all the gear.
And I think we got one that we talked about next. After Bo Diddley, we have, which is a good one.
Bo Diddley is like, it's got like a parallel.
Is that Madonna?
It's Madonna.
Oh yeah, and she's featured.
Look at that image.
photo.
That's it. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I think I was.
She's featured heavily in this.
Madonna,
set too.
yeah, fire with it when she had the cone bra too,
Yeah.
right? Like that's the iconic like 1991.
Right.
Isn't it crazy that this was what 31 years ago?
Yeah.
And look at how she's still around, isn't
Still
it?
around,
A lot of these
still
people, Lenny
relevant.
Kravitz,
Yeah.
it's nuts. That's what's great about
Well, you
music.
mentioned Snoop Dogg, another guy who's just lasted
around.
forever. And
Yeah.
still
Forever,
one of
right?
the number one guys out there.
It's crazy. It's the 30th anniversary next in December of the Chronic, Dre's album, which is Snoop's
Jeez.
real debut. So Snoop, 30 years in the game now.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. All right, let's get to this Rat Pack.
Yeah, let's
What
do
are we
it.
hunting for in here? What are the hits?
I know there's an Eazy-E rookie.
Yep.
I believe is an NWA rookie card.
That's sick.
Kid Rock when we had the Kid and Play haircut.
Wow.
Yeah, when he was full on.
That's
rapper.
insane.
Yeah.
So these are my homies. We just had an event with them. We got a station with them on Dash. Booyah Tribe.
Oh, okay.
Shout out to Booyah Tribe. That's that real OG stuff. So, and they're still around. Shout to my whole Pacific Islander family out there. Great guys. I've known them forever. They're always around. So I'm going to actually steal that one. Get them to sign it.
Yeah, there you
Come
go.
back. There we go.
There you go, yeah.
UTFO. And look at like the old like the diamonds in the little like logo, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like they got the logo. That's fire,
so
right?
nice.
So I don't know if that's like a parallel, right? Like instead of there, at least you didn't have foil at
Yeah,
that
that would
time.
be their version.
Michelle A, right?
Okay,
Who's
from,
another
from Death Row?
Yep, Death Row, right? Speaking of that time, and Dr. Dre, right? And
Let's Play House on the Dog Pound album was great.
Oh, there we go.
this one's fire. Here's a guy that I work with a lot. Ice Cube.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
That's a great one,
I haven't
right?
seen the photo, but we got
I might
Jerry
have to
curl
get him to
going on?
sign that one too. You got the Jerry curl under the
With the
under
Coming to
beanie,
America
with the
shirt
Coming to
on?
America shirt.
That's sick.
I'm gonna get him to sign that one. Kid and Play.
Okay.
There we go. Who at the time were so massive,
Huge.
right? Like bigger than all these people.
Yep.
Damn, there's a lot in there. Just seems like it never ends. Mellow Man Ace.
Okay.
Let's go and look at the little like '90s background, right? It's like the photo
Oh, yeah.
background of the lasers.
I was gonna say it's the type of place you
green
go
screen
like to get
laser.
your family photo at
Yes.
Sears or something. Yeah.
100%. All right, let's go to the next pack quickly.
All
And we'll
right.
see what we've got in there. That was some good hits.
That
in there.
was. While you're
I
opening
actually
that
like
one,
these.
I do want to ask
Go.
from your Skee TV days. I mean, you had a ton of artists come through for the very first time. Were there any guys that walked through, any groups that walked through, where the moment you saw them, you're like, they're gonna make it? Like even maybe before you heard some of those guys.
Yeah, there was. I'm trying to think of like the biggest ones. I mean, Game when I first met him, that was in Ski TV. That was a little before, but
Yeah.
doing that, I just knew he was going to be a superstar before he even signed to like Aftermath or no, I guess he was at Aftermath at the time, but before he was messing
Yeah.
with 50 and stuff. So he just had that like quality and charisma. You knew it instantly. Akon early on when we had him on the show. I remember we had so many people like watching. I mean, Kendrick early, I knew he was just the best rapper I'd ever seen. I just didn't know if he was going to be able to make like an album because he was just like a freestyle rapper.
Yeah.
And we're like, all right, can he actually do it? And he's gone on to make these incredible albums. So he had it. Post just always had like records and a different energy. Travis was always just like different and out there, right? So he just had like that different star appeal. So yeah, you kind of know. Gaga came in with just the swagger of like she was already Madonna, right?
Wow.
So yeah, like watching that. And Bieber, I didn't like, I knew Scooter for a while. And when he got out of the studio, all these girls showed up outside, and I was like, Scooter, you don't gotta fake it and like try to bring these girls to try to impress me like he has fans. He's like, no, they're really real.
it's all- yeah.
So I was like, so when I saw that, I was like, wow, his fan
And
base
this
is
is when
insane.
he was like right after the YouTube,
Young
right?
kid, yeah.
Yeah.
Like his voice hadn't even changed yet, so it's crazy. Of course, we got our ads again. You can join the Pump It Up posse.
There's the
and
card.
guess who our big card is? Guess who?
Easy.
There we go.
That's
Easy
big.
right there, as we talked about.
Yeah.
That's a
actually,
great picture
the
too.
graded ones of those do really well.
It's so sick. So I actually was going to one of my cards. I had a Bo Jackson card for Topps that Bo stopped approving any cards from that. But I had, dude, it was the sickest one. I had an Eazy-E cover of him. It was basically this pose. It might have actually been the same image where I had Bo with that with the Jerry curl. And it's crazy because one of Eazy-E's albums covers, he's wearing. The guy behind him is wearing an Angels hat, and the other guy, he's wearing a Sox hat, which is Bo's team, and the other guy's wearing a Royals hat behind him, which is just insane in the actual real Eazy-E album cover.
yeah.
I was
That's
like,
wild.
what? Like
to
those,
be. Yeah.
those teams that Bo was on, right? So I was like, I was so excited about it. Hopefully we can put it out someday. Gangstar, R.I.P. Guru, DJ Premier, one of the greatest producers of all time. Mitchie Me and L.A. Love. Again, don't know. And there we go.
Got more if we want to keep.
We got more rap packs? We'll do a couple
Yeah,
more,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
these
we
are
got more.
fun.
Yeah, these are really fun.
Like,
love
I
the
like
stories,
it,
too.
right?
I was watching a video. I'm a big MGK fan, even from when he started rapping, and I still.
He
love
had
his
that
music
star
now.
appeal too early on.
How are you so calm when you flipped over that couch on that set that day? That was crazy.
I've been around him and known him, for years since he first came up.
There chilling, and he's just flipping over the couch.
Yeah, he's hype, right? Like he loves to get turned up. Like that's what his shows are like. That's really what he is. So I loved it. I love that energy. Anything that's wild like that, and I've been through all the situations, so I'm like, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
I embrace that stuff.
I would imagine, there's been enough of those moments in working in the
that was
music
light.
world.
That was easy.
Yeah, exactly. That's
like,
just
oh,
another
that's
day
all
at the
you wanna do?
office.
Exactly.
The sound guy had to run in there though, real quick. And
Yeah, exactly. Put his mic on, right? That's a sick one. Ice-T
such a
right
sick
there. That's
picture.
gangster. Still around right now, and it's probably more kids probably know him from TV show.
Yeah,
right?
I think he actually just put out. He's now the longest tenured actor on television right now.
That's insane.
Isn't that wild?
Good for him.
Yeah.
From hip hop, right? From like.
Yeah. Would you have thought
insane.
in the early
No.
90s it would have been
187 on Undercover guy, right?
Yeah, I
that
know, right?
Ice-T would be Law and Order and Snoop Dogg would be doing a show with Martha Stewart. That's where we're
Crazy,
at.
right?
Here we are in 2022.
Marley Marl and Curtis Blow, two OG hip hop legends, so only fitting for it. And let's get one more pack. Kid and Play, followed by Kid and Play to Kid
with the
Rock.
same haircut.
Wow.
with the haircut.
That haircut.
That's insane. Y'all gotta take a picture of this. This is
Well, he
wild.
was actually on.
Look at him on the back.
He was on an Insane Clown Posse record when he.
I
was
had
doing those
no
days.
idea.
Yeah.
So you're teaching
It
me.
was-
I didn't know about early Kid Rock like this.
That's what I had heard of him because a lot of my friends
had
listened to
no
Insane Clown
idea.
Posse, and he was
Yo,
on
that's
like one of their first
wild.
albums because they were both from Detroit. So I think it was like, hey,
Yeah.
do a record with.
Shout to Detroit, Michigan.
Yeah.
All right. What do you say? Should we
do,
open a big boy right here?
Panini 1-1.
That's 1-1 1920.
That's
1-1 1920.
You sure you guys want me to touch this?
Oh,
We're gonna-
yes.
We're gonna lose it if we pull one of those guys. We're gonna lose.
Yeah,
it.
that's it. What's
Flip
the
over
reaction
table.
gonna be?
Just kidding.
What do you guys
Such
What do you
great
guys hope for?
vibes.
Who are your favorite players?
I'm a Warrior fan, so Curry.
I mean, Zion's really. It's weird to say
I'm
he's
back
on the
Zion
come up,
train.
but like the way he looks early season
All
is impressive.
You guys are gonna like this one.
Really?
I think
You
I
guys are
think I
gonna
might have
like
caught a
this one.
peek. Yeah.
Any guesses? Not who you said. That's my hint. Any guesses in there? They're gonna like it. Bay Area is the
Jordan Poole?
hint. Nope.
Oh yeah, that's what it would have been.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
that would have been a great
yeah.
one. What do you guys think it is?
Smalling?
Let's see.
Look at that.
Did I call it?
Call your
Chris
shot.
Mullen right there. Called the shot.
Wow.
Such a fire card right there, right?
And on card too.
You gonna call a shot again now?
Phew. Cody, you want to take a guess? I want to go 1 for 1, and then I'm not
I'm gonna say this time we get a rookie. Ooh, other 1920 rookies.
It's probably gonna be a base card, I think,
We've got
or a downtown.
a downtown.
Ooh.
Oh my God!
Wow. Kobe White.
Oh wow!
Wow.
It's a good one, right?
That is
And that
really good
Bull,
one.
I haven't actually paid attention. The Bulls downtown one is fire,
That's a
right? That's
really
a great
sick
piece
one.
of art. That's actually one of the sicker downtown versions
Yeah.
that we have.
We've got a lot more to rip here too. So
Yeah.
lots of stuff.
You want to get? Yeah. You want? What should we? I'll let you pick.
Let's do
What
some
do you want
baseball.
written in? Yeah,
I'll
let's
some
do
baseball.
it.
Since it's baseball season, I'm
Yep.
excited about it. I
World
really,
Series
you
on
know,
Friday.
I know everybody's hyped about basketball and football now. I love
Yeah.
baseball still.
I wanna
2020
ask you-
and 22 is such a good year.
I'm sure
Some
you've been
great
asked this
rookies
before. Your Mount Rushmore of Minnesota sports, and I want to have this caveat. Just please remember, Prince is 1-0 against Charlie Murphy in pickup basketball, so you can include him on your Minnesota.
I gotta
sports
take
Mount
Prince.
Rushmore.
That's not
I
in
feel like
there.
you can put Prince on every Minnesota Mount Rushmore: music, sports, everything. Like you just put him there.
So I'm
period.
gonna do. I got to do two sides. I've got to do like classic, right, growing up, and then
Yeah.
current. So because otherwise it's too difficult to break down. But obviously Kirby Puckett, like that's what got me
Yeah.
into sports. Being there, '91 World Series. Growing up, Kevin Garnett, being able to watch him play from his rookie year on, right?
Yeah.
And like I remember going to a game and watching him in the Jordan 11s. This 18-year-old kid that was 7 feet tall, that weighed about 120 pounds, right? Like, and watching him grow into a league MVP. Growing up, Randy Moss was my idol. So,
Untucked,
like,
yeah.
there was nobody from the moment he stepped on the scene, and just like it's weird because you watch Justin Jefferson, who's like setting every record, right? And you're like quietly, you're like, wait, how does he have 200 yards? And he's incredible. And he quietly does it. Like Moss was the opposite. He boldly did it. Like,
Yeah.
he's like 3 catches. Like we remember the what was it, the Thanksgiving game against Dallas, right?
Yeah.
Where he like 3 catches, 3 touchdowns, 180, like something insane, right? Like gets the turkey leg after and actually tries to eat it and doesn't realize you can't. But I mean, he's just
Yeah,
so
prop
dominant.
food,
It's just so
yeah.
exciting to watch. Current, I'm gonna say like in the Twins. Ooh, it's tough. My favorite, like Byron Buxton. He's just the most exciting player when he's
so fun
healthy.
to
I
watch.
think in MLB, like what he does. Like I always love defensive center fielders. That's why I loved Ken Griffey Jr. so much. Beyond what you do with the bat, like it's what you do in the field, and he's one of the best fielders. Just so incredible when he's healthy. But Luis Arias is the most interesting player I think to watch.
Yeah.
Taking at bat, the best pure hitter that you've seen. He literally practices. It's my guy. He practices in his hotel room in a tee every night. Like he puts in the work.
He's got an old school mentality that you don't see, I feel like, from modern hitters.
And he's not appreciated, right? Because he's
Yeah.
a batting average guy
Yeah.
and like the best pure hitter that you'll see that's not hitting him out of the park.
Kind of
So,
guy that I think is going to benefit next year when all the rules change, the
100%.
defensive shifts are gone. Like I feel like
He's gonna-
that type of
he's
player is going to thrive.
and still
again.
won a batting title this year, right?
Yeah.
Like first time All-Star. So those two from the Twins. Vikings, I mean, I'm going to go like in defense with my guys like Eric Kendricks, Harrison Smith.
Harrison Smith's a
Like
beast.
two OG legends that have been down with the team for since I've been working with them, right? Like the last two. I think the only two players that have been with the team the whole time since I started working with them in 2016. But then it's like
Check.
Justin Jefferson, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it who did Randy play when he did the and he got
That
a
was
penalty for
Packers.
that? Was that Packers?
Yeah,
Oh,
that was
yeah.
Packers. The Joe Buck call still is one of the funniest, the most disgusting act.
Oh god, it was
Because I think T.O. gets a lot of credit for the celebrations, but it was kind of Randy's thing.
Yeah.
Randy did it low
He was
key,
kind of the
Randy's a quiet
trendsetter.
guy. I love Randy.
He
and, then,
he walked so T.O. could run, you know?
and then basketball, like, look, I'll say it, 3 T-Wolves. I mean, Anthony Edwards is so exciting. Cat
Yeah.
is so talented, and Rudy's such a good fit, and they're all homies. So we got a good,
Yeah.
good little
This
window
is
right
the
now.
year.
It's
Nice,
so-
yeah.
I know I gave you
I'll
too
throw in
many
some hockey
answers,
love.
but
Kirill the Thrill,
that's it.
Kaprizov also
for
for
sure,
the
right?
Wild.
Like, he's insane.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of great young players. All right,
All
let's
right.
see what
I
we're
won't
starting
look, I
off
won't
this with. Sounds pretty fun, right? Like, we'll take it back. I went to last year when I was in New York. It was which anniversary of 9/11? What was it? The 20-year
it was the
anniversary
20th,
of
yeah.
9/11. I went to that game, and it was just electric. The Mets
Yeah,
game.
wow.
So it's only right that we have.
Oh,
Ooh,
yeah.
right?
Piazza.
Obviously.
Home Run
Nice.
Kings autographed relic card from 2022 Luminaries
nice.
Baseball, which is sick card. Piazza, one of the great catchers, especially growing up of my
Oh
generation.
yeah, and
right?
obviously
Like,
that
just-
iconic moment after the first game in New York.
like,
After
Piazza is the man.
Yeah.
Greatest hitting catcher of all time?
oh, without question,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's
Although I was gonna
You know,
say,
I'd say pure hitting Joe Mauer while he was a catcher.
I was
But
about
can
to
you-
say.
Can you qualify him as a catcher? And that's what sucks. Like once he had the concussion, right? Like he moved to first base where the value wasn't, and he just like it actually affected his hitting and stuff too. So he didn't bat as good. But up until the point of that injury, Joe Mauer, without
Oh, he was
question,
he was so
yeah.
good.
the best hitting catcher
Yeah.
of all time in that short period. He's batting like 347 and hitting home runs and stuff as a catcher. Like
I remember playing fantasy baseball. If you missed Joe Mauer, you were just like, I'm not even going to draft a
nuts.
catcher for
I
like
remember- so-
the
so I went
next
to high-
10 rounds.
He was a year earlier than me. He went to Cretan High School in St. Paul. I went to Central,
Yeah.
so we'd play him. He's so good. He's batting like 600 in high school. While he won Football Player of the Year and stuff, it just wasn't
right.
fair. I was like, I thought I was going to be a pro baseball player. I would say, there's one player better than me. It was Joe. back
Nice,
in high school,
nice.
so.
yeah, he was a pretty good one. Yeah, he's got a legit claim to I think Minnesota Mount Rushmore just for
Yeah,
being
for
a
sure.
hometown
and
kid.
yeah, being a
too.
hometown kid, like,
Yeah.
and like, look, everybody's like, oh, you got paid too much. Like, no, you had to sign him, right? Like, if he stayed healthy and did those things, it's just like an unfortunate circumstance.
Yeah.
Him getting the injuries that took him out, and it sucks to see that, but still had like a great career.
Oh, I
despite
think
that,
so.
right?
I think
Like,
he's got a legit shot at the Hall of Fame
Yeah.
when that time comes. We got some Sterling baseball now, 2022. This is an incredible box.
And we have themed packs, which is awesome with this stuff. So
Oh,
you
yeah.
can kind of dream of what you're going to hit.
do? Do we want to do the MVP winners or the postseason performers?
Start with the postseason performers.
Let's start with that.
that.
Let's see what we get
So
out
we
of
got one
MVP
autograph
winners.
relic card numbered to 25, or one unique 1/1 relic.
Yep. And there's bat knobs, there's cut autos.
Dude, those are so cool, right? Like anytime you get a card with like some of those pieces on it, I still don't know how the hell they put those in, right? Like,
Right,
they shave 'em
yeah.
off, and the bat knobs always look legit.
Right.
Yeah. Or where they get
I'm
the
like-
cleats with like the dirt in them
Yeah.
still. It's one of my favorite
They
ones.
used to have this they stopped making it for about 10 years, but they
Yeah.
had it in 07 and 08, and they were player themed then. So you'd pull it and it'd be like Paul Molitor or Johnny Bench, or they actually
shit, I
had
didn't
Barry
realize
Bonds
that.
back then.
This is actually a really good one, especially for this team should have made the World Series there. I watched him in '91 go against the Twins and luckily lose. He's now a commentator. This is a beautiful card and a great all-time great pitcher, right?
Oh,
Oh,
John
wow. Look at
Smoltz.
those patches.
Sick
But I remember
patches.
watching him in his rookie year was '91, and he was pitching in the '91 World Series. I think
course.
he started game
The iconic
2 and
game
6,
against
yeah.
it
Or
was
did he
game
go 7?
7.
Yeah, he did 7. That's
Him and
right.
Jack Morris, the iconic
That's right. He
matchup.
went, and again, pitched,
What's that one number to? Is that a
1/1.
Oh my God.
Fires. That's why I was like,
Wow.
Braves fans, and like, a lot of the older ones, like
101 Smoltz with some
that's a
amazing
sick card.
patches
I'm putting
too.
that back in this box. I'm not even touching this one.
Can we top
fire.
that in the next pack?
Well, let's
That's
see.
a tough one, right? Like a 101 Smoltz, like all-time legend. It's another 101. This one's gonna be fun because it's gonna be a patch
Oh wow.
on the back. It's a jersey patch from a great Colorado player.
Maybe Helton.
Oh, it's got to be Todd Helton or Larry Walker.
Galarraga.
Ah, there we go. We got Larry Walker.
Larry
we got
Walker.
the K from Larry Walker.
Oh my
right
God.
there.
Wow.
That's a sick card, right?
Wow.
Look at that patch.
Hall of Famer.
Game used memorabilia right there. You can see the little it's really cool on this one too because you actually see the purple pinstripe in the back of the K
yeah.
from the positioning of the way it is from the diamond from the Rockies uniform. So
Wow.
really sick card. I used to love that. I used to wear a Rockies hat all the time as a kid because I just love those colors.
Mhm.
Right? Like,
Yep.
sick.
And they're an
card.
expansion team, so something new. So
Yeah, exactly.
Is that? I wonder if that was from the SpongeBob.
Yeah,
thing
right?
That he wore for the Hall
Oh,
of Fame.
man. Dude, you want to talk about drip.
Yep.
Larry Walker wearing the SpongeBob. I think he even wore a little, like, SpongeBob enamel pin.
Yeah.
Like, just a little subtle hint when he was up there.
That was a Pandy Hall of Fame ceremony, right? Because it was like during
yeah,
the
he
middle
waited
of,
a year, but yeah, he was
'Cause it
just
was a
in
video
his
one.
SpongeBob
Yeah.
outfit,
That's such
camo
a feel bad
outfit.
for those guys. Yeah, no, he was a great player. Like just such a good hitter and stuff. So.
Super good. Before we start ripping more boxes,
Yep.
I kind of a little bit different of question for you. You obviously have a lot of business ventures, and I think there's probably a lot of folks watching on Loupe and watching here who would like to know, like, kind of your tips of like what does it take to be a good entrepreneur, like ideas that you kind of that you seek when you're looking at new business ventures, new ideas. What are, and maybe it's a really broad question.
No, it's a
but
great
like, what do
question.
you, when you're going into a new business or a new line, or something new in business, what are you looking for?
Great question. For me, I was boiled down to like, it's like I say the 3 P's. I have them hung over my office. It's like patience, persistence, and perseverance, right? Like those are the keys to success. You have to be patient, as difficult as that can be for me sometimes, right? And then, the most successful people are the ones that don't quit. That's really the key thing. It's who's standing at the end of the day. It's like a prize fight. You can lose rounds, and you're going to get knocked out. You're going to get punched. Can you withstand that? Can you stand at the end? Because that's half the battle. Like you win if you're just the last one standing and then persevering through all the adversity and everything that you face. So people that can fight through those things are, I'd take all day like the fighter and somebody that's more aggressive versus somebody with even like a better idea for that. Like, because it's at the end of the day, you've just got to figure it out and things are going to change. But that's kind of how I'm here, right? Like it's a lot of hard work and never giving up and just keeping it right. And like, well, I post all the highlights and all those things. I'm like, look, there's always the whole other side of like all the other work and the things behind the scenes that don't go right. Like posting the highlight reels, we don't post the downside, so people don't see that as much. But for me, it's just like never quitting. If I listen to all the no's that I got and still get right, like I wouldn't be anywhere. But
Yeah.
How do you stay organized during all this? Like, what's your tips to stay on track for all these ventures?
For sure. I mean, it's identifying like what your time is, right? Like that's the one thing you can't get back, and it's most precious to us. So making sure that you're doing things that kind of like figuring out where you ultimately want to be, and making sure that everything you do kind of falls in that path. That's why even when people hit me up to do something or for like investment in something, if it doesn't fall within those guidelines, it might be great. It's just not for me or not an area that I can help out or be, specialize in. So for me, it's just like organizing and always constantly challenging yourself and surrounding yourself with the right people that can help guide you through that aren't just like yes man, that are going to help, guide you in the right direction and give you that sounding board, and give you great advice from that, and then just going out and actually like maintaining it and executing the things that you say you're going to do.
Yeah.
And I noticed you mentioned a lot of your stuff is based on passion, and I think that's the biggest key to success
100%.
is loving what you do, right?
100%.
But going along with that, there's always going to be stuff that go along with your passion that you don't want to do. So
100%,
how
right?
do you force yourself to do those things that aren't as fun?
It's tough, right? Like you guys, right? Like you guys are opening sports cards for a living. It's incredible, but with that, you still have to ship them out. You have to set up the website. You have to set up all the behind-the-scenes stuff. Like this is the fun stuff. This isn't work, even though it is, right? Like this is the fun part, but all the things that take to get here and all the years of work to get to that point where you have the platform and the audience to be able to do this for a living is what takes a long time and is what the grind's about, right? So you have to realize, like, see where you want to go and be willing to make that sacrifice to get to that end road and to be able to react to all the obstacles in your way.
Now, if I think I saw on your about that you were selling PS2s, and that's how you got hooked up with Loud.
Yeah.
So you were kind of flipping those things, and
Yeah,
then just, it was in the right place at the right time.
I was always like entrepreneurial, and my friends at high school would work at like Best Buy or Target, so I'd slide them $20 to tell me when the new shipments were coming in, and I'd go buy them and sell them for double the money on eBay as a kid, right? Like that was my job, right? Like running around town doing that, and I got connected to Steve, who was the CEO of Loud and Sony, and he needed one for his son, so hooked him up, and I knew who he was, and stayed in contact and built a rapport with him, and over time, like just built a relationship where I was like, hey, I have some ideas, and just send him some stuff. And I like the coolest thing that I wanted at the time. I was like, man, maybe he'll send me like a Wu-Tang Clan hoodie, like that would have been the coolest thing ever. He actually then offered me like a job, and I actually didn't expect that, but you have to, and then you also have to, like, when those opportunities come, like I was in high school, 16 years old, I was like, all right, well, am I really ready to like leave Minneapolis and like move to LA? Like, it's always like, yeah, I want to move and do that. But when it really boils down to it, are you really willing and ready to do that? So you have to, like, when those opportunities present themselves, you can't be scared to jump in. And I did it, and luckily it worked out. Yeah. So
how do you determine if something's not working? What I mean, like some of your ventures, you just know in your head.
You just can't lie. Yeah, you can't lie to yourself. You see the data and you evolve, whether that's moving on or adjusting it or adapting. But you just have to be real with yourself. And I think that's one area where I've always had like I've always been good at like identifying trends early on and seeing like what's working and what isn't, and maneuvering and figuring a way to get them to work or moving away from that stuff if it doesn't. Like you learn more oftentimes from those failures. People say it all the time than you do the successes. So
yeah, I was
you
gonna
take
say.
those learnings, and it'll help you, and you will look back and you're like, oh, that, no matter how hard it is at the time, I've always looked back on failures and like, oh, that happened at this time because it prepared me for this next moment where I took advantage and did something different or took some learning from that made something else that much more successful, even though it's tough to appreciate at the time.
No, I think that's something that I just hear across the board from successful people is it's like the failures are the things you're going to learn way, way more from.
100%.
You don't want to let the success get to your head too much. Or else,
can't. And by the way, when you have success, it doesn't last that long, right? Like if I have put out a great card with Topps, it's always like, all right, what's next? If I put out a song, if I write a book, right? Like all these things that I've done this year, it's like, all right, what's next? Like, that's cool, but like, what am I going to say? I wrote a book a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Like, doesn't really matter.
Got to be ready to pivot.
Keep it moving.
Yeah, exactly.
Momentum.
All right. Let's try to build some momentum here.
Let's go.
1920.
Let's do it. 1920.
I mean, I think we might have saved the best for last year. I hope. Let's get some Ja right now. He's looking so. I feel like everyone in the hobby is like, "Oh, Zion's back. He looks great." But like, Ja is literally like looking like an MVP right now.
He's really good.
Yeah, he's had like the dunk of the year 3 times already, and there's
I've
like
seen
5
them play
games.
a couple times in Minnesota randomly too, and they're just like they're an exciting.
They're
team.
an electric team.
Right. So this is an interesting one. It's a first team signature, number 2 of 5.
Wow.
From the Nuggets, old school, David Thompson.
Okay.
So that's the first one.
Nice penmanship there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's setting us up. I think. Let's see what this next one is.
Hopefully.
I already lost the.
And we got it downtown in the first one.
This one's pretty fun. So he had a great rookie season during I think the pandemic was his rookie year, and this is a rookie card because of the year that it is. Number 9 out of 20 from the Miami Heat. He had a song about him too. Speaking of music, it's only right I get it, right? Jack Harlow, Tyler Harrow, right? So
that's a really good one, actually.
That's a good one.
6 man of the year last year.
6 man of the year. Still an exciting player, could shoot, and lots of hype and lots of things going on. Miami's a good team.
Miami's a really good team. Yeah, I mean that whole Eastern Conference. I just
and
feel
wait,
like
did Jimmy Butler shave his braids?
They're gone.
I think they were extensions, right?
Yeah. Oh, were they?
Yeah.
That was bad. That was so bad. I saw him and
all those memes.
And I was looking at the cards that he had and stuff too. I was like,
so funny.
Man,
I think this is now a recurring thing. Like he does this as like a troll job at the beginning of the year because he knows it's picture day, and then like every picture, every promo of him throughout the year is just him in like the goofiest looking hairdo.
You mentioned a sports song. What's the best sports songs of all time? I know Sheck West had Mo Bamba.
That still goes.
That beat is that beat's
goes hard.
sick.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. There's not a lot of music, in terms of sports.
I love it. Yeah, in terms of players, I just love though. For me, like it's so great. Like when I used to go to the games as a kid, like my favorite moment actually in sports, probably in sports history, if you're like tell the moment, like beyond like maybe the Twins getting like that 7th out and scoring that because it's tough to top, is just watching any game in the 90s, turning on TV, right? Bulls are on TV. Stadium goes black.
Yep.
Alan Parsons, you hear the little guitar riff, do 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 do. from North Carolina.
Yep.
Still the best.
Number 23. Like, I get goosebumps even just talking about that. So now to be able to come back and help program and sequence like sports and music games and do those things is just so incredible. It's literally like my dream job, right? Like, I always thought I was going to be a pro athlete as a kid, and now I'm like, I've made it to the pros just in a different way, right? You have to pivot, like talking about what we're talking about, right? Like, you take a different path. It wasn't actually playing, but I still found a way to the major leagues, right? And so, but being at like those moments and like hearing those songs like Alan Parsons Project, Sirius, go look up if you haven't watched that Michael Jordan intro, it's electric, right? Like
Last Dance on Netflix. There you go. Get a plug as if it needed it.
it's so incredible, right? Like, that's just like the most energy that you'll ever feel no matter what, like from those things. So I love being able to program that. And I remember playing for like one of those moments I remember was we launched Big 3 and it was back in Philly and Iverson was there. So it was Dr. J and Iverson. So playing the music for Iverson, and I played one of my remixes, and just the arena was electric, and like watching him come out to that in Minnesota doing it, and even recently in Michigan, like playing the biggest stadium in North America. The only, I think, stadium bigger in the world is like an India cricket arena, but for 112,000 people that are singing like Mr. Brightside, like when I cut the music out, it's
Nice.
just, like, and there's no bigger venue, so it gets no bigger as a DJ, right? Then there's nowhere bigger that you can play, and to have 112,000 people singing that stuff at your kind of whim and control is just electric.
In music and sports, it's like I think I point to this year, the Edwin Diaz walkout this year.
that
It just
one was
caught
crazy,
on.
right?
It was wild, and they actually got Timmy Trumpet there, and it was just
Incredible. I love it. Now everybody copied. We did a thing I did some stuff for Jorge Lopez and the Twins after, obviously everybody saw those things, so we did a little intro I remixed. We did the Lights Out part of the Travis Scott and Drake Sicko Mode like remix, and like would dark out the stadium for it. So yeah, for me, that's where I love. And I think, like, look, when people go to games, like, at the end of the day, it's entertainment. Like, that's why you're buying tickets and fun. So that's a key part and element of it. And I remember, like, I really realized the power of it during the pandemic, going to Minnesota and still going to the stadium with no fans there. I'm literally the only person and maybe a couple photographers walking around in the seats. And at first I was like, oh, this will be awesome. I'm the only one there. I don't have to deal with people. It was so miserable, and like not having that. And I actually didn't go the first game. The team called me and were like, you have to come out. Like, the energy is so dead. Even with no fans, like, we've got to at least do something to hype the guys up. So just seeing like the impact that music has on the whole environment is, awesome. And that's where, I'm just so fortunate to do what I do.
And you need those fans to feed off of it, because there are things that you can't predict.
100%.
Like,
doing things like this year, like I DJ'd for the first time a NASCAR race live when they did the Clash at the Coliseum in LA this year, and then went back out and did some stuff at the Daytona 500. Like, that was wild an experience. It's fun.
Yeah.
So,
It's
I'm
awesome.
fortunate. I'm very fortunate. This has been so much fun. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. This has been a blast.
Coming down.
Yeah.
Of course. It's
Let's
incredible.
let's
I
make
love
it
ripping
happen.
stuff. I mean, this is just so fun. So, shout out to Chris and shout out to the whole Loupe team. Congrats on 2 years.
Absolutely.
2 years are awesome.
yeah.
For card,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna talk about it. There's going to be some more Tops drops coming this year.
Nice.
You'll see some stuff we're close to.
I love that
those
stuff.
things.
If you
So
see, actually, we got that.
Yeah, we're going to do a little promotion. We're going to rebring out, and I'm actually going to drop a free card if you buy some of my Project 70 stuff. I'm pulling some out of the vault that I saved, and I did like a Aaron Rodgers 62 card that's going to be live next week for free, and we're going to give those away free with each order of people that buy my
Aaron
Tops
Rodgers,
projects.
you didn't burn him?
Had to be gritting your teeth while you were designing that one, I'd imagine.
Definitely no Aaron Rodgers.
The Bucks and DMX card, I gotta actually say while you're here, one of the coolest.
Thank you. That
designs.
was my favorite. Yeah, and especially from those things. And that we did that the time that DMX passed away, so like the timing was right. And when the best compliment that I get was when Byron told me, like, man, this is the best card anybody's ever made of me. I was like, wow, that hit the spot. Especially like he's my favorite player right now, like legitimately to watch. So.
That's such a dope card for a dope player.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, guys, DJ Skee.
Thank you guys again.
Thank
so
you again
much.
for joining us.
Appreciate it.
Really fun time. Let's do it again.
Of course.
All right, guys, that is it for the hype. Hope you enjoyed it. Once again, happy 2-year birthday for Loupe. Check them out. Download the app now. Fun times on Loupe. We're breaking stuff all the time there. Go say hi to Ty and Cody. And make sure you follow us at Mojobreak_com on Twitter, Mojobreak_com on Instagram. And check out the free shot for Spot Challenge, and you can get a free spot in Select Basketball. And we will see you on next week's Hype. Peace.